Okay, before we understand what CLR is and why we need it, let me explain a little bit about the history of C#. Before C#, we had two languages in the C family, the C language and C++. With either of these languages, when we compiled our application, the compiler translated our code into the native code for the machine on which it was running. Which means if I wrote an application in C++ on a Windows machine with x86 processor architecture, the compiler would translate my code into the native code for that machine. That is a Windows machine with an x86 processor. Now we know we have different hardwares and we have different operating systems. So if I took that application, that compiled application on a computer with a different architecture, that would not run. So when Microsoft was designing the C# language and the .NET framework, they came up with an idea that they borrowed from the Java community. In Java, when you compile your code, it's not translated directly into the machine code. It's translated into an intermediate language called bytecode. And we have the exact same concept in C#. So when you compile your C# code, the result is what we call IL or intermediate language code. It's independent of the computer on which it's running. Now, we need something that would translate that IL code into the native code for the machine that is running the application. And that is the job of CLR, or Common Language Runtime. So CLR is essentially an application that is sitting in the memory whose job is to translate the IL code into the machine code. And this process is called just-in-time compilation, or JIT. So with this architecture, you can write an application in C# and you don't have to worry about compiling that into the native code for different machines. As long as a machine has CLR, that can run your application.